This is the Four-Man Rush. Hello, Panther fans, and welcome to another podcast with the Four-Man Rush. This is your host, Timmy V.O., along with my man, Kevin, and we're in a cover one defense today, and we're just going to keep bringing you Panther news and Panther thoughts right to your eardrums for you to understand and enjoy. Our topics for today, and for this podcast, I should say, first and foremost, we're gonna talk about our man Armah, fullback for the Carolina Panthers, and the secret weapon that he might wind up being. We're going to talk about some of the comments Coach Rivera has made about backup cornerback Mr. Heinecke. We're going to talk about some of the camp battles, things to look out for, and things that are starting to shape up. And, of course, we'll talk about what apparently everybody's talking about, which is a big deal for the Panthers, the Amazon Prime show, All or Nothing series. It's going to be very interesting, and it's great publicity for our Carolina Panthers as well. So those are the topics, and by God, we're going to jump into it. Mr. Kevin.
Yes, sir.
How do you see one of your favorite players, mind you, Mr. Armah, and his possible secret weapon capabilities?
Well, hey, everybody that knows me knows that from the time that we drafted Alex Armah in the 6th round of the 2017 NFL draft, I've been by far his biggest supporter. Anyone that knows me knows, I still got that old school element of football. I like using the fullback multiple I formation lineup and just punch you in the mouth type playing style. That's what I played in when I was coming up through the ranks through middle school and high school. So yeah, I've definitely been a big fan of Alex Armah from day one with his versatility when he played at West Georgia. On offense, he played tight end, and on defense, he played defensive end. And, we've always been keen on position flexibility. So honestly, him being fullback was a new task for him because he didn't really play that in college. But yeah, what was discussed is the pass catching ability of Alex Armah. Wrapping up from minicamp and heading into the break before training camp starts. Just looking over what the players are capable of doing, and it was just kind of brought up that how during the OTAs and minicamp, a lot of people caught eye of Armah pretty much catching everything thrown his way, not just the short passes straight out the backfield, but we're talking some plays 25, 35 yards down the field. And, we're talking about a guy that's 6'2", 255 pounds, folks. So, we're talking about somebody that's bringing some weight to the table whenever he's running a route here. And, I mean, the guy is a big, fast athlete. And I personally, I would love to see him get a few opportunities each game. Idealistically, because of the type of offense we run, with North Turner, with the Air Coryell offense, it does feature the fullback a lot. I definitely can see him, with the option of being targeted 2 or 3 times in the passing game, especially on play action. I mean, usually when we line up in our 21 or 22 personnel with tight ends and a fullback, we tend to lean towards running the ball. And a guy like Alex Armah slipping out into the flats, catching the ball, turning it upfield. We saw it in his rookie season in the preseason game against the Tennessee Titans, where we had practice against him. He actually scored a touchdown in that game off the very same thing, a play action pass to the fullback in the flat. He turned it up the sideline for, I believe it was about 30 yards for a touchdown. So this is definitely something that he's capable of doing. As a fan of his, as I mentioned, 2 to 3 passes thrown at him a game, 2 or 3 carries a game. I think that would be a great workload for a fullback in the NFL, what the NFL is today, such a pass-heavy league. So it definitely bring back some of that old school taste. But me personally, I definitely think that when you have to worry about Cam Newton, Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, Greg Olsen, Ian Thomas, when you factor in all those guys to worry about, now we're going to bring some guy like this running out the backfield, and your little defensive back is probably all that's standing in the way. So good luck with that, folks. But I'm definitely excited for potentially what may be an opportunity for my man Alex Armah.
Absolutely, man. I can't wait to see what he does with the football in his hands. Like you mentioned about the Tennessee game. If you guys who are listening, if you think back to that game, when he caught that ball, folks, he turned his shoulders upfield and he was gone. I mean, he showed a really good burst, and that really surprised me. Like Kevin said, he's a big fella, right? And man, he turned upfield and showed a great burst, no hesitation, and took it right in for right in the end zone. So I mean, he's he's going to be something that people are really going to sleep on, and we're hopefully going to punish people with that. A faster, leaner, possibly a meaner Mike Tolbert on our hands right here, folks. I mean, this guy can catch the football, right? I mean, coaches trust you enough to put you at the tight end position and actually give you reps catching the football and things of that nature, like he was in college. That will carry over to the pros. He's obviously good at it.
Yeah, he's definitely good at it. And keep in mind, last year, for a while, he was actually leading. Was on the Pro Bowl ballot for fullback. He had scored 2 touchdowns. His first one was actually on his first carry against the Dallas Cowboys Week 1 last year. So he definitely has abilities to be a secret weapon for us. I like the fact that, like I said, we're talking 6'2", 255. And with all due respect to the fullbacks of the past, I kind of see him as having the skill sets when you combine the run blocking of Brad Hoover and the running and catching ability of a Mike Tolbert. Now, I'm not saying that he is good as both of them individually, but I'm saying his skill set would be a nice mesh of what they brought to the table, because Hoover was known more for his run blocking than his actual running. Mm-hmm. Tolbert was known for the opposite. He was known more for his running and catching more so than his run blocking. Mm-hmm. Whereas with Alex Armah, you get the best of both worlds. And me, again, being a fan of the fullback position, I love it. I definitely hope he gets, his moments of opportunities to really show what he can do.
Hear, hear, man. Hear, hear. Absolutely, man. Like I said it before, and I'll say it again, folks. It's going to be a special season. These guys stay healthy. It's going to be a very special season. Speaking of special seasons, apparently Coach Rivera had some comments to say about Mr. Heinecke, a.k.a. put yourself out there. That kid got guts, man. That young man will always have my respect. I tell you that right now. So Kevin, I'm not too familiar with what Coach actually said about Heinecke. Tell us more about that topic.
Yeah, the way the subject came up was after a minicamp practice. A lot of the media was, speaking of Christian McCaffrey, reporters around him, and someone caught Heinecke, saying, just kind of shaking his head and laughing a little bit. And it was asked, what's the deal? And he said, yeah, that's really not my deal. He said, that's right. He said, that's what Christian is there for. Just kind of joking and playing how he gets all the attention. And, when that kind of got back to Rivera's comments was pretty much saying that with the abilities and the playmaking that they seen up close of Tyler Heinecke, it would be a mistake on their part to overlook him with this upcoming season. And me, I definitely am a fan of Heinecke. We're talking about someone that was actually first spotted in college at Old Dominion by our own quarterback coach, Scott Turner. He was the one that actually scouted Heinecke for his dad, Norv, when they was both at Minnesota playing for the Vikings. And, so this is someone that both Scott and Norv Turner are very familiar with. Heinecke, for those that don't know, played at Old Dominion. He set a NCAA record for yards in a game, Division I record. It was I
didn't know that.
Old Dominion was playing New Hampshire, and they won 64-61. Heinecke threw for 730 yards, which set a Division I record. They came back from a 16-point fourth-quarter deficit. So, you're talking about someone that's, I guess you would call a poor man's version of Cam Newton, because he was also a dual threat in college. He had thrown for 5,000 yards and 44 passing touchdowns. He ran for another 11 touchdowns on the ground. Believe it or not, he actually won the Walter Payton Award, given to the best player in the FCS division, and he was only a sophomore. So, for those that, that don't really pay much attention to the talent that we have at our backup quarterback positions, we actually have very talented backup quarterbacks that just needed an opportunity. And for those of us that remember the game, I think it was week 16 at home last year, the last home game against Atlanta, prior to his elbow injury, Tyler Heinecke was, cutting up that Atlanta Falcons defense and was picking up first down both his feet and with his arm. So he's definitely someone who has a skill set that Rivera said that they want to make sure that they don't overlook, because everybody's talking about Cam Newton coming back from shoulder surgery, all the hype off drafting, Will Grier in the 3rd round this year. Kyle Allen is always talked about because how well he played week 17. Mm-hmm. I mean, folks, the truth be told, we actually do have probably the most talented quarterback room that we've probably ever had as a franchise. I mean, we really realistically have 4 guys that, with enough training and coaching up could go out there and perform with us without missing a beat. So I definitely want to see Heinecke get his chance to try to earn his spot on the team. And he's someone that I definitely am a fan of.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Kevin. Again, thinking back to the way he played last year, he shows a lot of guts. I think it took him longer to gather his rhythm, as opposed to Allen. Allen seemed like he was really geared and ready to go when he got in that game. He got comfortable really quickly. It seemed to me, but Heinecke is. He's a go-getter. I can see why he was leader, I guess you can say, in the backup role to Cam, because he shows guts, man. I mean, he's a guy that goes out there and people aren't afraid to follow. He has some leadership qualities to him. I wish that he would pan the field a little more, meaning go through his progressions, but. He's a heck of a leader, man. He has a lot of guts. To get your arm or your elbow process destroyed like that, get it wrapped up and wrapped back in the game, even though he threw picks after that. I mean, it showed a lot of heart, and I'm extremely happy that he's still back with us, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, considering the type of injury that he had, I mean, for those that don't know how severe that injury was, he tore every ligament in his left elbow and his non-throwing elbow and partially tore his triceps. Now, again, his stat line reads 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions. It's kind of ironic that all 3 of those interceptions happened after this injury when he came back in and wanted to, fight and play for his team. Mm-hmm. For those of us who not familiar with it, he lost his dad while he was in college, and his dad was like his biggest fan and biggest supporter. And it was like leading up to the game, it was talking about how important it would be if his dad could be there. And one of the most touching pictures I saw last year was when the Panthers had a seat and they had a T-shirt or a jersey for his dad, where his dad would be sitting if he was there. And that kind of one of those personal tearjerkers. Like, wow, it was just an empty seat behind the Panther sideline with say strictly for his dad. So. That was one of the more touching moments that I remember about that game. But yeah, man. I mean, every ligament in your elbow and partially between your triceps, for him to come back and be in position to fight for a spot, I'm definitely pulling for him. I think at the end of the day, whatever quarterbacks that we do keep, I think we're going to have a good group. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how these quarterbacks perform, not only in training camp, but definitely in the preseason games. This is when it's going to be their time to shine, is the preseason. So I'm looking forward to it.
Here. Actually, that's a good segue, actually. So let's talk about the camp battles. There are several positions, actually, in my eyes, especially on the offensive side of the football, that some battles, right, are going to be pretty evident. One being obviously the coveted left tackle position. How do you see the offensive line panning out in terms of camp battles, and also what are some of the other positions that you're looking at? And I'll chime in with the rest of my lineup.
Yeah, sure. You brought up the left tackle position. I mean, let's be honest. We're moving up and trading up in the second round of the 2019 NFL draft to get Greg Little. Pretty much, a lot of our fans pencil him in as the starter, but Rivera made it clear that there's going to be competition. Let's be honest. May the best man win. So we definitely want to see different players rotate in at left tackle. Don't be surprised to see Darrell Williams at left tackle. We got him on a 1-year deal. I mean, think of the scenarios. What if, and I'm just throwing it out there, Greg Van Roten wins the left guard job, then where would that leave Darrell Williams? I mean, it's just the fact that there's some scenarios out there that could potentially get very interesting in how things pan out. So, but yeah, definitely at left tackle, you could see Darrell Williams playing there. And even though Moulton started week 1 there last year versus Dallas, it would be hard to see him playing left tackle anytime during camp, unless it's just strictly to just, get a look, get a feel, just to see, just in case, quote unquote, something did happen and did have to play over there, earn a spot. I really do see the competition is wide open. I don't see anyone as a favorite, and I think that's how it should go. Now, the key is, once we do select who are going to be the other running backs behind Christian McCaffrey, how many snaps are they going to get? As we all know, Chris McCaffrey led all running backs in total snaps last year. He rarely, and I do mean rarely, came off the field.
Ever.
And I definitely think with the uproar amongst a lot of Panther fans over, we had C.J. Anderson and we never gave him any real carries, and look how he did in the playoffs when he got with the Rams and this, that, and the third. Listen, when you got a guy that produced as much as Christian McCaffrey does, you keep feeding a hot hand. You don't take him off just for the sake of numbers. If he's in there putting in work, making defenders miss, picking up first downs, do you really stop that momentum simply because, okay, he's got 22 reps, the other guys only have 3? Let's give him a chance. I'm a fan of, until they stop it, keep using it.
Mm-hmm.
So
keep pounding.
But I definitely think that over the course of time, that can add up and take a toll. So if they can bring that down to maybe about 70 snaps for McCaffrey and allow these other running backs to get anywhere from 3 to 5 snaps a game, I think that'll be something that would be fair for everyone and help keep that position balanced. But that's the battles that I see as far as from an offensive side of the field, the left side of the offensive line, and the running backs.
Yeah, that's definitely where I was going too. I mean, like you said, I mean, Christian is, he's like the epitome of the 3-down back. I'm assuming, judging by how much muscle mass this guy's put on over the past 2 seasons, his pass blocking capabilities is probably going to get better too. So him coming off the field is it's gonna be a rare sighting. I'm afraid, but I'm with you, man. He's if he's producing, leave the man alone, please. And there's a lot of crow that got 8 last. Actually, his rookie year is a lot of crow that got 8 or eaten by folks talking about he's too small, this, that, and the third. But stop. Either you got it or you don't, and he got it. He is a superior all-around running back, and there's no disputing that. He's smashing people with their lack of awareness and the ignorance and the stereotyping of this kid just based on what he looks like. It blows my mind, and I love the fact that he's just shutting people up. And if they're still talking, they're looking pretty stupid.
Yeah, definitely. My favorite was, we just need to go ahead and make him a slot wide receiver, and get us a big power back and all that folk. And I'm like, will you get up out of the 1980s and see what the NFL is right now in 2019? Please. I mean, game is all about versatility now. What kind of matchups can I create that's going to favor my team?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it's just mind boggling just how much just pure instant ignorance and just unfactual assumptions that some of even our own fans had about McCaffrey. It's like I heard more doubters within Panther fans about McCaffrey than I heard outside of Panther Nation of all things.
Yeah, likewise.
He can't run between the tackles.
Stop.
And I think I did a breakdown earlier in a post that I had done where I showed that, running between the tackles, he was a little over 5 yards to carry from tackle to tackle.
Yep.
So, hey, I get it. It's not something that you're used to. And, on the 4-man rush, we keep it real. Let's call it for what it is. Even amongst people, the fact that we got a smallest size white running back, that's something that a lot of people are not used to. And I've even seen other white fans stereotype him and be like, he's too small, it's not a real back, and I'm like, whoa, hey, like, did you see what he did at Stanford? Like, a majority of his yardage where he broke NCAA records came between the tackles. Like, open up your mind a little bit. Let's look at the evidence that's been presented here. So I definitely, but definitely when we hired Noah Turner, I instantly automatically knew that McCaffrey was going to, take his game to the next level. I'll be honest, Shula being over McCaffrey is like, I can't even think of a good analogy, but it just wasn't going to be a good mix, and we saw how McCaffrey just pretty much turned into a nightmare every single game with so much versatility. And leading into the 2019 season, from talk shows, for those who like fantasy football, it's a lot of people considering drafting him as their first pick in fantasy. So that the abilities of Christian McCaffrey are so unordinary based on what he looks like and what his size is, that is something that's taking a while for people to come around to, but they're going to learn. They're going to learn. And if you didn't learn last year, grab an upfront seat in 2019. You're really about to take notes.
Truth, folks. Truth. Now, on the defensive side of the football, I wouldn't say there's many battles per se. I will say this, though. Golden, he does have a battle. His battle's with himself. And that, can he calculate all the information that he needs to calculate and fly around without second guessing or, biting on simple moves and jerks and things of that nature? Can he solidify his position and battle, I guess you say the battle within, right? Can he overcome that and be that safety opposite of Mr. Reed and really solidify that secondary? But linebackers, D-line, now there's not really a lot of battles because that's really a cohesive unit. But Mr. Golden, I'm worried about you. I'm worried about you. Now I know he's a great player. Seeing the work he did in Tennessee and his tenacity. And what coaches have been saying about he's a cerebral player. He loves the game, things of that nature. That's all good and dandy. I want to see it on the field, son. I want to see it on the field because hey, if he comes around, man, him and Eric Reed, well, that's going to be a nice combination.
Yes, sir. It definitely will be. And people got to understand that at Tennessee, Golden played primarily, nickel cornerback. So to go from nickel cornerback in college to NFL safety, it takes some time. And Rivera and Heinecke both pointed out that they knew this when they drafted him. They knew that Golden's rookie year was going to be filled with a lot of transition that was not always going to be easy and smooth for him. And I like the fact that he used the reps that he did get last year as a way of feeling comfortable. And he went into the offseason with the mind frame of, he's coming to make a name for himself. And keep in mind that during OTAs and minicamp, he was playing not only at the other safety spot, but he was also getting a fair share of reps at nickel. So again, position flexibility, folks, is something that here at the 4-Man Rush we're going to continuously remind you of. Think about it in the game. When we did those, when Will Harris did the breakdown of the safeties and pass coverage, we showed that on certain reps, either safety is interchangeable. There was some reps where we had Dante Jackson playing safety. Heck, Bradbury even played a few snaps at safety. So for the Panthers, it's just defensive backs, playing multiple positions. Bradbury even played in the slot as a nickel to cover, certain wide receivers depending on the matchup. So I just like the fact that with Gaulden, you're looking at the opportunity for someone that can be placed in multiple places on the field, moving these pieces around, neutralizing whatever threat that the opposing offense is trying to bring to us. So I can understand the uneasiness of it. And like you said, hey, it's all good to do it in the classroom and on the board, but it's time to show it on the field. I definitely look forward to Gaulden taking the most of his opportunities. So it's going to be something definitely fun looking forward. And the 4-Man Rush, yes, we will be there, and we will be giving live updates on every Panther practice. So you folks definitely stick around with us, and we'll definitely bring you the latest in-depth content of your Carolina Panthers.
And if you're not following us on Facebook, which is where a lot of the live coverage will be coming from the camp, you need to hop on over there and give a like or follow. Also, check out our Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube page. YouTube page is really, really, really popular, so you'll really enjoy the content we got there. So, speaking of enjoying content, let's talk about this Amazon Prime series, the All or Nothing.
Definitely make sure you take that down. We'll make sure we make that information available prior to July 19th.
Yeah, and I'll put it in the feed. If you're listening to this now, make sure you look at down at the bottom below the play tab. It should be down there. It should be down there. And what's that link one more time, Kevin?
Yeah, the link is Amazon.com/all or nothing.
So I can't wait to see it. Again, I'm kind of a geek, so I'm always curious on how these big production companies put together their shows and things of that nature, and transitions and stuff like that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I am definitely wanting to see how they portrayed our Carolina Panthers, because again, last season was a very weird season. We saw the best of Cam Newton, and we saw the worst of Cam Newton, although he was injured. Well, I can't say the worst. He played a lot worse than that. But it's just, I guess the worst of circumstances for us in terms of constantly losing and the close games, and and then just being absolutely obliterated by the Steelers like that. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. And again, we will put that link in the about section, I guess you could say, or the text section below in the bottom of the podcast reference. So make sure you look at that. Check us out. All right, so I believe that's the last topic of the evening. Kevin, anything else you want to put out there to our listeners?
As always, because we never want to take anything for granted, I just want to thank each and every one of you that take the time out to listen to every one of our podcast series, even if this is your first one or you're just a few in, or if you listen to every single one. We just want to say thank you. And I just want to let you guys know that what we do behind the scenes was a serious grind to make sure that whatever we present to you, whether it's on podcasts, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or Twitter, that you're getting the very best effort to provide the type of content and detail that Carolina Panther fans deserve. Again, just a quick update. We're looking at this website being completed now that we're in the month of July. So within the next 2 to 3 weeks, right before training camp start, is when we're looking to unveil our website. And I'm going to be getting our first sample package within the next 2 weeks as well for the 4-Man Rush apparel line. We're talking hats, T-shirts, shorts, different color scheme combinations, black background, blue writing, blue background, black writing, different things here. So we got some things in the works that we definitely are a lot closer to, and we can't wait to share with you fans. And we hope that you definitely give us your feedback so we can adjust and make sure that you're satisfied with what the Four-Man Rush does. So definitely stick with us because better times are coming.
Well, I believe we can wrap it up with that, folks. So y'all be sure to keep following us. It's going to be a special season. I can't say that enough. Hopefully, cross your fingers, knock on wood, whatever you got to do. Wish our players a safe travel through camp, get on the other side nice and healthy so we can go into the season and the preseason, and get through the preseason and get into that first game with the Rams and punch somebody in the face. That's what I'm looking for. I'm just saying. Oh, man. And I'm telling you right now, folks, we get hyped when it comes to football. When that whistle blows and that first kickoff goes off, man, that first podcast after week one is going to be interesting. Actually, all our podcasts are going to be interesting because we're going to keep bringing it to you fresh and new the way the Four-Man Rush does. So thanks again for dropping in and listening to the Four-Man Rush. Although we're in a cover one defense, I believe we served our fellow Four-Man Rush podcast hosts and contributors well. So on behalf of myself, Timmy V.O., Kevin, Larry, Will, Monty, Gennaro, Norris, and everybody affiliated with the Four-Man Rush, we wish you a wonderful day, wonderful evening, wonderful morning whenever you're listening to this podcast. And as always, Panther fans and non-Panther fans, keep pounding.
She love it, we out in public and we can just chill with my partners and we can go back to my crib and just chill under covers and do we call me and you lovers.
The Four-Man Rush is brought to you by the love and respect of and for the Carolina Panthers and Carolina Panther fans everywhere. Keep pounding. The Four-Man Rush is a non-affiliate of the Carolina Panther organization. All thoughts, assessments, and content of this podcast is directly related to the Four-Man Rush exclusively. Thank you.